are testing now a specific braking test from 200 to 0 in 3 seconds. The Ferrari car you're seeing now is equipped with the braking system we seen yesterday in our factory. The brake rotor passes from 600 degrees to 800 degrees. Only this specific material can reach this temperature. This caliper is to stop the car, and the safety of this type of products is crucial. There are a lot of people who copy our products, and it's incredibly dangerous. A fake brake caliper don't pass this type of test. It's very difficult to see where is the counterfeiter. Che mostro.
People may view counterfeiting as a victimless crime. Apparel and shoes and things that they may not deem very important, but the problem and the products that are counterfeited go way beyond that.
Counterfeiting includes fake medicines, fake sanitizers, fake ball bearings.
Batteries that might melt into your appliance, contact lenses that might have to be surgically removed from your eye, counterfeit pesticides that devastate crops and the soil.
Each of these fake goods has something unique, and it's very difficult to develop unified strategies to combat all counterfeits together. Counterfeiting is a big problem for every economy.
3.3% of world trade was comprised of counterfeit goods, and that amounts to more than $500 billion.
Counterfeiting means bringing money into illicit trade networks that brings corruption, criminality, and often popular crime. All this dark underground economy, and you don't know where the money goes. It's totally unknown.
If consumers realize the extent of counterfeiting, they might think twice about buying counterfeit.
Today we're going down to Jewellery Street, Manchester, to arrest an individual who's been involved in the selling of counterfeit goods. If you go down that area and they see that you're police or law enforcement, shutters will go down, you miss your opportunity. So we'll have to get in there quickly. We'll do a quick briefing now with the team, and we'll look to mobilise all the units that we've got at our disposal today.
A loose plan this morning is 4 of us will go down to the location. The first of us 2 will go into the premises. We'll grab the spotter and call the rest of you guys, GMP's Tactical Assistance Unit in a white vans, and you immigration guys are going to drop in at the back. Be careful when you get out. There's lots of people about, anti-police individuals there. A lot of them will be filming. Let's go.
Is everyone in bust and ready to move?
Strike.
Proceed.
Just be mindful of the weapons we found at the last one behind the till.
Selling distribution of counterfeit items.
We've executed a warrant today as planned at 5 Jewellery Street. The execution went well. We'll use the angle grinder to cut our way in. Inside, there's a whole plethora of counterfeit items. It's a bit like the counterfeit version of a department store. Every garment you would expect. They've got footwear, they've got perfume, they've got jewellery. It's a massive haul. I'd guess in the millions, we'll find out later, but it's a really successful day. 3 people in custody and further immigration checks being conducted.
The UK has a problem with counterfeits. Many countries, they are the destination countries for counterfeits. Many countries are producers of counterfeits. Many countries are transit points of counterfeits. So there is no country that is free of this threat.
I've been on the Economic Crime Directorate in City of London Police since 2015. Before that, I worked violent crime, sexual offences, drug-related offences. This is a first for me on PIPQ for counterfeit goods. It's opened my eyes. I was surprised the amount of money this criminality generates. It's significant. It's something we should be focusing on, and I'm quite passionate about it because they're making a lot of money. Where does that money go? Is that going into this country? Is that paying tax? Is it going back to the government? Is it helping improving our economy? No, it's not.
Hello there, how you doing? I'm Pete Garland from the City of London Police. We're going to take you away from here. We're going to search your shop this morning. This is this premises here, isn't it?
It's about targeting the right people to hit them where it hurts, to stop the flow of money, rather than the street individuals or the shop workers looking at the people behind it. That's what we're trying to do.
Counterfeiting, it's a global threat that at the same time has many faces, many facades. There is no one hub of counterfeiting that can be really attacked to solve this problem. It's really a decentralized network. Of course, our data show that most counterfeits are made in China, period.
China is the global economic manufacturing powerhouse. It has the global infrastructure for manufacturing. It has the labor force. It's importing a lot of raw materials. So there's already a foundation for creating and manufacturing legitimate goods. And therefore, it's easily transferable to also make illegitimate goods. There may be some instances where a legitimate factory operates after hours and makes additional products. There may be other situations where a factory is created specifically to make counterfeit products. And in fact, certain towns are devoted to making a certain type of product.
我在想，要不要顺路？我这边有个档口，有几双鞋可以去拿一下。就是我说那个地下停车场，相当于代发，也不是说零售。我睡醒第一时间，如果是要打开手机的话，会有几百条微信，然后里面其中可能会有很多是，比如说代理啊，或者说是什么客人发过来的，他有问有报货，各种。 我们接完单之后，他工厂他会配货到我们这个地方，就是饭店和代发，但是都赚钱的，赚多赚少，其实更多取决于个人单位这个。人家开保时捷的多了去了，车上有鞋啊。 每家都有自己的记号，像这个啊，这就是我们做的记号，这是看不出来的嘛，没有记号。接触有10年，做没多久，做3年了，而且我们本地人又接触这一行这么久，真的要做这行，比如说我们发朋友圈啊什么，人家知道你做这行，有亲戚是做这个，一个带一个吧。 你看，远远看过去那个 logo 像什么？就像我从最早只是喜欢的东西，到后来去了解品牌文化的时候，他们的正品价格超出了大部分人的承受范围之内。开着门面，产品有着很大的市场的接受度，还是不可能100%完全一样。 顺便说一下，就卖的特别好的是椰子，我们一个是照着透光，透光度看的好不好，品质是有区别的。正品的这个地方影片可能会是荧光的，但这双鞋如果是没有荧光的，在我们评判标准里面，这双鞋也是做的不够整、不够好。这个角度跟正品的也是有区别的，就是看买家要求嘛，买家要求到什么程度。 今天他要10块货，我们给他10，所以有时候说1分钱1分货。我们比如你以蛋壳举例子了， 一看这个细节不对，就打大折扣，就哪怕他做的非常好，在我们眼里，他就其实就没那么值钱。你看这样，其实最大的漏洞就是证明这边是必定会有个缺口。像是我们写毛笔字，那种尾，还有像比如像这个上面的这个字体，其他的这都是说好像是如果你遇到那种高端客人、高端客户，他就觉得这些跟正品还是有区别。像这些基本就是属于要退给工厂的货，就大概这样，没什么。这一行为什么有那么多从业人口？就是因为入门门槛很低。这个老大爷他可能他不需要懂鞋，他只要懂得送、懂得拿就可以了。
Counterfeiting can be an activity that's very easy for it to be a one-man show. And that's because counterfeiting is generally a low-risk, high-reward type of activity.
The business has a very low entry threshold, and virtually anyone with even a small amount of startup capital can get involved.
What we're also seeing, though, and that's more concerning, is that criminal networks are also very involved in counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is one activity that organized criminal networks are using to fund their operations so that they can continue the money laundering, they can continue their human smuggling and human trafficking activity. So for example, in 2015, there was a shooting at the Charlie Hebdo's office in France. Authorities found that one of the two brothers who were involved in the shooting was involved in selling counterfeit products, counterfeit apparel, and counterfeit shoes right before the shooting happened. The profit from the counterfeit products were being used to fund their activities and to fund their weapons.
This is exactly the problem. Counterfeiting is part of the illicit networks. Right? So there is no exact correlation. I catch counterfeiter, haha, he or she is a terrorist. No. But all these crimes stay in the shadow, and you don't know where the money goes.
We started our anti-counterfeiting action because we think that our product has to be safe. We start online investigation, we start offline investigation, and we understood that there wasn't only one source. In China, Taiwan, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, where the people produce our products without our permission, of course. One of the most incredible products I bought in China is a brake caliper. It's incredible. We produce this type of caliper only for Ferrari. When we sell the caliper like this one, we put the name Ferrari, the name of our customer. We don't put the name Brembo on the caliper. Also, if we see the number marked here and the number marked here, well, you can see the shape of this specific zone is not the same. Then if you put this type of caliper on another type of car and not a specific car, you can have some problems.
Brands have to bear responsibility in protecting their products, but if their counterfeiting problem continues to escalate, they have to invest more in legal fees and a counterfeiting technology to distinguish it as being genuine, which then adds to their cost. The resources and the investment could be put towards product development or additional innovation, paying their workforce or growing their workforce and growing their company. And in some cases, the cost is transferred into the price of the good, so the consumer might have to pay more.
At the same time, there are many small family-run companies that do not have such funds, do not have even sometimes knowledge about this problem and how to counter this problem. Unfortunately, there are many bankruptcies. There are many foregone plans, expansion plans, because of the threat of counterfeiting.
We cannot stop 100% of fakes on the market because, unfortunately, we don't have unlimited resources. And in some part of the world, it's very difficult to fight against the fake and to see where the products are produced.
呢啲咯，呢啲全部都係假嘅，呢啲就有晒商標嘅。
如果唔係買嘢冇喺度搞啊，唔該你。冚住揾啲人咁樣冇嗰啲。係咯。
OK。打假我已經做咗大概16年左右㗎啦。咁主要都係負責打假啦、調查啦，同埋一啲嘅跟蹤嘅工作。 亦都係幫一啲大型嘅公司咧、大品牌嘅公司咧，做一啲侵犯知識產權嘅工作。咁因為做呢啲案件咧，需要人力、物力、時間都係要好多嘅，就要好在品牌公司可以出到幾多錢，即係話佢咧個掩飾力好強。當我哋跟蹤一啲車嘅時候咧，或者跟咗貨嘅時候咧。 因為我哋知道咧，入嘅機會唔多嘅，可能每次都有起碼2個或者3個錄影設備嘅，有一個鏡頭嘅。呢個只係普通一個好似充電嘅，咁我哋咧其實用呢個設備咧就可以咧係咁樣睇住嚟影嘅。嗱，呢個水樽咧其實就係一個錄影機嚟嘅，咁咧個鏡頭咧就喺呢個位置。 所以對佢哋咧即係佢哋做假嘅工作咧係絕對方便嘅呢啲地方，方便同埋隱蔽。所以我哋好驚入到去咧，就係一係就出咗貨，一係咧就係未貼包裝。即係話，因為所有啲假貨咧都有一個叫商標啊嘛，有個 logo 啊嘛。即係話，如果佢哋未貼上去嗰陣時候咧，就唔當係假貨嘅。譬如有冇 CCTV 啦？ 又或者係佢哋咪經常鎖門啦，咁你都會留意到咧。如果佢係有啲，如果知道自己係做假貨嘅咧，佢自己好小心嘅，咁樣啦，同埋佢哋上晒鎖啦。
Hong Kong is one of the top countries for counterfeit goods. When you look at customs seizures reports from the EU and from the US, a lot of products are going through Hong Kong ports. And counterfeiters do that because they want to hide the originating country for the counterfeit product. Customs officials are more tuned, for example, in the US, to suspect counterfeit goods coming from China.
咁樣影晒相，有晒錄影，咁亦都要影到我哋啲貨。咁我哋有信心佢係假貨嚟嘅，咁我哋就會去報執法人員。 海關嘅行動咧係佢哋自己執行行動嘅，我哋只可以提供一啲資料俾佢係參考嘅啫。
Investigators provide data to customs in the destination countries to say, hey, shipments originating from this province are really risky because they might be counterfeit goods. Customs officers, they are tasked with so many things to do. And then, when it comes to countering illicit trade, they have so many areas to cover. Guns, cash, narcotics, wildlife, and then somewhere at the very bottom, counterfeits.
Go.
Fucking police are rude! Rude, fam! Fuck you!
Border Force do a great job. They stop a lot coming to the country, more than people realise. But, you know, it's hard, you know. Stuff's getting shipped out of these countries, China, Hong Kong. The only way we can stop it is when it comes into the UK border. It's resource intensive, but we've got appetite for it, you know. Look how much money made from this criminality. Today, 200 grand's worth of stock street value. Yesterday, significantly more.
A lot of the raids, obviously, they target the low-hanging fruit. Just taking down the most obvious things on the retail market. You cannot just identify Mr. Big, take them out, and expect the whole system of counterfeiting to collapse.
Who gets punished for this behavior, right? These are usually owners of small shops, even smugglers. But criminals running these networks, they are safe.
能数出来直接关系的朋友出事3、5个吧，太多了。假设10个朋友被抓了，坐路边哭的呀，也有女的，各种啊，每天都是。只要你涉及这个行业的人，其实人人自危嘛。他们这些抓起来不一定像是你们理解的去抓大口啊、抓送货啊，都存在风险性。对，我就有2家已经到货了，顺路去收一下。 车就不熄火。吓我一跳啊！走到门口没给我打电话。我随时随刻都想转行，无时不刻在想着转行。
I've seen the Chinese government at the state level take a lot of steps to address brand protection and intellectual property protection in the country.
China is the next superpower, so it's important to show to the world that they're doing something about counterfeiting.
I think it's hard to say whether China's enforcement efforts have had an effect on the overall counterfeiting problem. We're still seeing a lot of counterfeits circulating worldwide.
You'll see while we're working in this area, there's other shops, which we can't deal with them all on the same day. But it's worth noting, as soon as you do a job like this and you take these strong tactics and actions against the people that are selling the counterfeit goods, the message gets around.
There are many reasons why people buy counterfeit products. But I think if they knew the ramifications of counterfeiting, if they knew the harm it causes to small businesses, the tax revenue that is lost by governments that could be put to public services, the involvement of counterfeiting in organized crime, that might change their perception.
There is little difference between a stolen pair of shoes and a counterfeit pair of shoes. Stolen pair of sneakers can be still cheaper than a legitimate one, but the money you spend for bad behavior. You pay criminals. For what?